at the Virtuous Warrior Academy with another episode of Train with Eli. And we're not talking about bananas because this is no monkey business. So tonight we're going to be training on our three first kicks that we learned here. It's going to be a front kick, a side kick, and a round kick. Also, before we forget, make sure you tell everybody hi out there in YouTube land. It's so high, don't be so shy. Hi! Alright, so tonight, the biggest thing we're going to work on that crawl, walk, run phases when we do our kicks. And the biggest thing we're going to work on is what's called neuromuscular education. Now, that's a big word I borrowed from somebody. So basically what I want to try to do during this training process with him and any other students, we're going to try to train the brain to fire the correct part of the nervous system and the peripheral nervous system to contract the right muscles and let the other muscles relax, and then contract the right muscles to deliver the maximum amount of energy through our kicks biomechanically correct. And what we want to do is just train that pathway from our mind through our body, through the end of our foot, delivering the maximum amount of energy. At the same time, we're also going to try to protect ourselves also, because there is going to be some return of energy when you kick. So you really want to be mindful of your ankles and your knees, which are hinge joints, and your hips, ball and socket joints. Another thing you want to be mindful is always have a good platform, have your head up high, and you should be protecting your face when you kick. How do you protect your face? Good. You bring your hands up. You should have your knuckles eye level. Keep them out away from the face. One on the side here and one out. And that's a good kicking stance. First thing we're going to start with, Eli is going to go ahead and sit on the ground. Go ahead, sit on the ground. Good. So Eli, while he's sitting on the ground, is going to maintain good posture. He's going to take both hands, he's going to place them behind his back like so. And this is just going to be for support in this sitting position. He's going to take his right leg out here. He's going to maintain his left leg in this L shape. So the first kick is going to be the front kick. So he's going to come up to a front kick chamber. And when he does this, he's thinking about all the different muscles, the abdomen muscles, the hip flexors that have to hold the knee in place. He's going to work on contracting his hamstring, which is bringing the leg back. And he's also going to be working on, I forget the name of the muscle on the front side of the tibia here, not the calf, but the other side, contracting the foot upward. And he's also, look, he's already pulling his toes back, which is perfect. Because with a front kick, pull it in, pull it in. Yeah, it's tough. He wants to strike with the ball of the foot. So he's going to work on extending the foot out and the foot at the same time. Extending the leg out and the foot. Striking with this part. And what he wants to do is he's creating a kinetic chain through his entire body, and as that power passes through the different gateways, it's increasing and he's striking with the ball. And then he works on re-chambering the foot nice and high, and he can work on different levels of front kick. Yeah, that's a lot of using your brain there, huh? Contract, push your foot forward, pull your toes back. Good. You want to have a nice straight. You don't want to have the foot curved. You want all the bones straight. Good job. Now I want to work on, we're going to do this on a target. Okay? All right. Pause. He knows, he's starting that neuromuscular education where the front kick, we're going to give him some feedback for that, which is going to be in the form of a handheld target. So he's going to come out and extend his foot. Perfect. And you see how that comes up? If you kick this way, the energy is going through the target. If you're braking, again, you're protecting your toes from the brake. And then, remember, it's chamber, kick, chamber. So you got to do one more. And curl those toes back. It does take a lot to have your foot straight, curled back. And he's going to keep working that to build up that, some people call it muscle memory, but we're going to call it the neuromuscular education. Do you understand? So that's the seated position for the front kick. Go ahead and face the camera. So from this position, not only can you work the front kick, he can work a beat chagi or diagonal kick. Pull your toes back. Coming in this way. He can also work, go ahead and do an outside crescent kick. That's the inside, do outside. doing outside. Working on bend the foot in. You can also work, he already did the inside, gotta do inside. Good. So that would all be from a seated position this way. We're gonna move on now next to a side kick. Go ahead. Next thing we're going to talk about is the side kick. When you get into the side kick position when starting from the ground, it's almost like you're laying down sideways to watch TV. So you want to have your hip on the ground. You're going to have this elbow on the ground, this hand. You're going to interlock them. You can see here, Eli's not resting his head. You don't want to rest your head. The more you don't rest your head, the stronger your neck's going to become. And get your chin facing this way. So he wants to have his nose, chin, shoulders, ribs, and hip all in position. So when he does the side kick from the seated position, there you go, good. You want to have a nice high chamber, and he has his foot pulled back. He's trying to concentrate with his mind, striking with the heel, and he pushes out, and he slightly rotates. He works that slight rotation, getting the hip to turn, because when you're doing a standing side kick, you got to have that hip roll over, allowing the hip socket to actually open up to perform a proper side kick, striking with the heel. After you do that, you come back to the chamber again. Okay. And he comes back to that nice high chamber. And then he pushes out from the heel. And he rotates. He rolls over slightly. That's training the hip to open as we kick. Alright? And you're striking with that heel. Good job, Eli. And to get to the other side, all he does is sits up. You sit straight up. And then you go right to your other side. Again. There you go. Good. Put this there, down here, grab. So another thing you can work, we're going to be talking about practicing the round kick from the side position. So from here, he wants to pull this back. Because again, when you round kick, you want your body completely in line with your target. With all kicks, your knee is your gun sight. So however I move my knee, it changes the height and where I'm going to strike. So from here, for round kick, he wants to work on pulling back hard, and then snapping out and kicking. And with a round kick, he can pull his toes forward and strike with the ball, similar to how some people call a round kick a side front kick. Okay? Because it is a front kick turned sideways. Or he can flex his foot forward. I like to do that when I'm kicking targets. I also like to flex my foot forward in sparring. It gives me a couple inches to get closer to my opponent. So again, he'd be working on pulling that back, and then snapping. Also, those are our 3 kicks, a front side round. From this side position, you can work another drill where he comes up this high chamber. He does a side kick that misses, which is called a hook kick. He hook kicks back over. He works on pull that hip. Pull. You feel that? Yeah, you got to pull in there. And then he snaps the round kick out. And then he chambers up. And he delivers a side kick. Good, grab here, get your head off the mat. Hold your head up strong. Another thing you can do from this position, he can start working hip rotations. Bring your foot here. So he brings his foot up, open, and back down. And he starts working the hip rotation. That warms up our hip and helps to stretch out the inside. And then you can also work that hip circle the other direction. Also from here, go ahead and get up into like a referee position, also like a dog on the ground. Good. From here, from this position, he can work a side kick, or what we would call a back kick from here, striking out backwards, pull your toes forward. Good. And bringing it back in. This is another thing, and he can also work his hip circles. Bring it into the body, up, or he can work it the other direction. Can you start feeling that in your hips?
Yeah.
Yeah. That starts to work our hips. Go ahead, sit back on your butt. So just sit there. So again, everything we do in karate is interrelated. Everything that we practice and preach and train inside the dojo, you should be taking outside of the dojo. The things that you learn outside of the dojo may be useful inside of the dojo. Again, I learned about the neuromuscular education through watching Olympic weightlifting. And they would train certain movements to train their nervous system to do that. And that's basically the same idea what we're doing with these kicks today. Now again, that's interesting that it's interrelated. If you fall on the ground for a self-defense, You know, let Eli face me. Sit down. He's on the ground. He fell down. I'm going to attack him. Look at that. He got his hands up, protected his head. As I come in, he delivers a kick. He can deliver a kick to my knee, blowing out my knee. Or if I go to reach down, not only can he do a side kick, roll back on your belly, on your back, on your back. He can do an up kick, striking with the heel, or he can be doing front kicks through the knee, or anywhere. So again, training on the ground is just not about learning how to do our kicks. It also has another benefit when looking at self-defense. The next portion, we're going to go to the standing. And I'm going to bring out the guy behind the camera, Isaac. All right, come on up, buddy. Did you stop it? Doing the standing. So Isaac, you're going to come here. I want you to get in a good fighting position facing that direction. So when you're in a good fighting position, I like to have his hand up here, eye level, his foot's out. The way that I check the distance with this is a Hugu Jesse fighting stance, or you can also refer to it as a Chagi Jesse kicking stance. There's one way that I use to check my distance. It gives me a relative size. Distance is really dictated on the mass and how you're going to be moving, or how you utilize that mass. So right now he should have all his weight on his back leg, barely any on the ball of his front foot. Pull your toes up, and what you should be, by pulling your toes up, again, you get that neurological pathway, you can feel the ball of his foot here. But to get the correct distance, all we do is, there we go. We put our knee to almost the back of our heel here, and when we come up, we get into a good Hugu Jesse. So this is a great kicking stance because all his mass is back here. Stand up straight. So when he goes to kick any kick, what he wants to do is internally shift his mass onto the ball of that foot. As he's doing that, he's driving his backhand forward. Keep your eyes forward. You have to keep your eyes on your opponent. And what is that doing? It's contracting this. And what does that set us up for? To be able to drive, get your head up, drive that knee up. We flex our elbow out to leave room. There you go. And then extend your front kick straight out. Push your foot forward. Push the foot forward. Push the foot forward. Pull your toes backwards. Perfect. And now he has all his mass traveling through the end of his ball. Sort of like the punch. Our two knuckles are coming right there. And what do you do after you kick?
Rechamber.
Rechamber, and you place it on the ground in a proper position. And you want to maintain that weight on the back leg. Now, some of the things you'll see people do, they want to do an incredible kick. Are you tired, bud? They want to do an incredible kick.
You don't see it on.
No. They step with the front leg first. And why do they step the front leg first? Because they're trying to generate more energy. We can do the exact same thing if we're here. If we're here and we shift our mass right onto the ball. And again, we want to twist our hands, keeping our head up, and we drive that knee up. Good. Want to keep your head up, chin up, eyes, all right? So the same thing applies when doing a side kick. From here, keep this out here. This hand, he wants to pull tight back here. If he keeps his rear hand tight, he's going to maintain more balance. He keeps this one out. To get into the correct side position, as this knee is ascending forward, start driving forward, he starts to twist and chamber tight. Both feet are sideways. From here, he's going to kick from the ball of this foot. He pushes from this ball through that heel. He twists his hips. Twist, push, 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 turn. Turn, turn, turn. Keep your head up. You can't look away from your kicks. Pull your toes back. Rotate. Rotate down. Can't keep dying on there. Rotate. You gotta straighten your knee up. Alright, so next, Isaac showed the front kick. I'm going to show the side kick. So again, I'm back in my good kicking stance. His hand's up level, protecting and covering this side of my body. This hand's out front, in case I need it. So what I do first is I push this hand forward. Again, creating a chain of events. Taking my shoulder girdle forward, keeping this hand close to my body to maintain balance. I got a pull here. As my knee ascends forward, it's going to rotate to the side. I get in what I call is like the pitcher's position, like in baseball. From here, when I go to extend, I'm going to kick from the heel of the supporting foot. So I come up here and I explode from this heel. And I want to push. I want to come in, push, and then as my leg comes back, as it retracts back, I pull the foot in and down. From the other side, I come in, up, and I want to pop from this foot, and then come back. Very important, from this chamber, you got to kick from the supporting foot. The energy travels up through the different pathways, through the body, through the core, down through, what do come and hit you really hard? Come up, pop. You want to really push that hip and twist into that. Just like when you were laying on the ground, we practice the Eli twisting, getting as much hip as you can into the kick. All right. Talking about the round kick. So he's going to be using the target. The biggest thing is he wants to shift his hands, keeping them eye level, protecting his face. Keep this out here. Keep it up for protection. Good. Rotate your hands. Good. Remember, when you pull this one back, you want it next to your face. A little bit more out. You can feel the twist here. And then he releases the knee to come up to kick. Good. That was nice. Go ahead to your other side. Hands twist and kick. Good. And by keeping his hands up and close to his body back here, he maintains balance. So next we're going to move on to a kicking drill. So again, we crawled. The walking phase is striking the target or practicing your basics and single action up and down the floor. And then a little bit of run phase would be combinations or sparring. Go ahead, back up a little bit. Isaac, tell us when we're still in frame. Keep backing up. Keep backing up a little bit more. Good. So me and Isaac will demonstrate one of our drills. So Isaac, you're going to do 1, 2, front in, round, back, and then you're going to drop, we'll have you spin and pop when I go to the other side. You ready with this? So remember, you're going to cross punch. 1, 2. Ready? 1, 2. Front, in, round, back, drop, spin. Keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning. Pop. 1, 2. Good. Front, in, round, back. Perfect. Good job. Eli, come on up. Show us yours. Ready? Come on over here. Ready? Yet? Ready? Hands up. 1, 2. Front, round. Keep your hands up. Back. Drop. Spin. Pop. Pop up. 1, 2. Front. Round. Back. Jump front. Jump and kick. Oh, good job. High five. So you just seen one of our kicking drills, and you notice after they do their last kick, they drop almost like a burpees and spin. That has a secondary thing. We don't do it. We don't coach it as much with the drop as the burpees. But again, if his hands are up, mine are up here, we're getting in. He's trying to defend himself. I shoot in and grab his legs. He should be dropping on my back, sprawling, spinning around, taking my back. So that is why we do that. And that is the end of our video tonight. And what time is it, Isaac?
Push-up time!
Push-up time!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And 1, 2, 3. That's all I can do with you.
Well, you can do it with me.
No, not with you. You're too big.
Eli, I think.
I hope you enjoyed tonight's video, Training with Eli, episode 4, covering some basics. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click subscribe. Everybody out there at YouTube, have a great night. Tong Su.
Tong Su.